The United States of America is under attack. I know that may sound overly dramatic, but it is true. We are under attack. And no, we are not under attack by those who were told are our enemies. We're not under attack by the North Koreans or the Chinese, the Bangladeshis or the Turkish, not from ISIS, not from the Taliban, but we are under attack from within. We are under attack from those who would call themselves evangelical Christians. And let's just take a look at the incidents over the last few weeks. When we had the riots in Charlottesville, who was it that went on TV to defend Donald Trump, who defended those who were protesting, not those who were protesting for peace, but those who were protesting for anarchy. And it was the evangelical Christians that went on TV to say how wonderful their puppet, Donald J. Trump, is, and what a great leader he is. Then a few weeks ago, we had Paula White go on the Jim Bakker show. Now, it's utterly incredible that Jim Bakker would have a show given all his crimes of the past. And I know that he has served his sentence and paid his dues. But to go back to the same old thing of swindling people just shows no shame. And there on his show, he had Paula White, yet another swindler of major magnitude, showing absolutely no humility. And it was Jim Bakker who was boasting how Paula White, as the head of the Christian advisors for Donald J. Trump, had access to the White House. And there was Paula White saying that we have a moral authority to pray for the president. And that to resist the president, who was put in that position by God, is to resist God. Hogwash. Yes, we do have a moral authority to pray for our elected leaders. Yes, we do. But we do not have a moral authority to not resist what they do when what they do is evil. And that has no biblical basis whatsoever. Where would Moses be if the midwives had not resisted the orders of Pharaoh? Even Pharaoh's daughter resisted his order, and to go by Ms. White's premise, Pharaoh, who was a leader, was put there by God, and therefore he should not have been resisted, and Moses should be dead. No Moses to lead the people out of Egypt. And that is the problem with these evangelical Christians, is that what they say is what they purport to be biblical is not at all biblical. Because if you look in the Bible is full of stories of people who resisted people in power. Even Jesus Christ himself may not have resisted the elected officials, but he resisted the church officials of their time and all of their ways and standards they said that one must worship. So if Jesus went to the cross, was crucified on the cross because he resisted the ways of man. So no, Ms. White, we do not It is not, standing up to Donald Trump is not to be ungodly in any sense of the word. Then after Ms. White's statements, the following week, you had the Nashville statement put out by these evangelicals who were meeting in Nashville. And this was in response to the fact that there were a group of people there seeking to have a conversation, not to protest, but seeking just to have a conversation with these people about the words that they use, in particular the words that they use about homosexuals that really cause death. And I've said that before, and it's no exaggeration. Their words cause death because so many of these teenagers hear these words. They hear that they're not accepted by God, and they choose too often to commit suicide. Then there are those who go onto the streets, and their souls are killed as they're there on the streets. So yes, these words do cause death. And so this Nashville statement put out by evangelical Christians chose to focus on homosexuals, focus on who people love. In a world of hunger, in a world of homelessness, in a world of poverty, in a world of war, they choose to focus on who one loves. How very pathetic is that? Then in the wake of Hurricane Harvey, we had the ever smiling Joel Osteen coming under attack because he did not open up his church to those in need. And when confronted, Mr. Osteen said that nobody asked him to open up his church. This in the wake of the many mosques, this in the wake of the many other churches that had opened up their doors to house those in need. They were not asked, they just did it because that is what Christians do. And then I heard, then there was somebody on Facebook wanting to defend Mr. Osteen and to say, well, Mr. Osteen, he didn't get his wealth from being a minister. He got his wealth from property, from real estate deals, and he's actually a reluctant minister and blah, 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 blah. That doesn't matter where he got his money. The fact is that Mr. Osteen is worth in upwards of $50 million or more. And when the people from Hurricane Harvey came into his church, what did he do? Did he offer his money to them for relief? No. He passed around the basket to get even more of their money. Tell me, was this Christian? And let's go back to this Nashville statement. I read this Nashville statement, and I couldn't get really past the first two words of that statement, which said evangelical Christians. And I went to look in my Bible for what evangelical Christians are. And I couldn't find it. I could find things about Christians, but I could not find anything about evangelical Christians. And the reason I cannot find anything about evangelical Christians in the Bible is because evangelical Christians are not biblical in their beliefs. And in fact, if you look at many of the current studies, you find that that many evangelical Christians do not even go to church, do not read their Bibles, do not receive the word of God. They receive the word of man and they lap it up. And we are under attack because these people want to take over our government. And in the White House, they have their man, Donald J. Trump, who is just all too eager, all too anxious to do whatever they want because the evangelicals love him. And yes, we are under attack because they are no different from ISIS. They are no different from the Taliban. They may not be bombing people, putting out bombs. They may not be shooting at people, but their words are meant to destroy this country. Their words do produce death and destruction. Yes, America, we are under attack, and we must stand up, and we must stand strong, and we must resist.